Happy National Paranormal Day, everybody!
Here we are. And today the penguin's going to do her ghost pepper challenge on Paranormal Day.
What a more appropriate day to do a haunted. It's a haunted ghost pepper challenge day.
Like I said in the other video, watch some other ones, talk to a few people. Instead if you make it past about the first 12 or 15 chips, you got it whipped anyway.
That's easier said than done.
So she's only going to eat, but if she eats 12 or 15 of the chips and I say she did the challenge, then the chef is going to eat one chip, because I'm limp, but the chef is also going to put a little spot of this habanero hot sauce on it.
He's a glutton for punishment. Who's going to have to nurse him all night? Whoop, 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 whoop. Ha ha! Me! That's who? You ever seen the Stooges where they're in the cemetery? Did you ever see that one? We're in the cemetery and they're like, I think it was Curly. Curly's a fat bald one, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And he says, hey, I saw a ghost. And he goes, one of the other guys says, was it a fat one? No.
We got regular.
I just remember that. So anyway, we're going to get off this black and white and so you guys can see the chippies. We have some other things we're going to talk about too. Mm-hmm. So we'll be right back.
I just like it. I can't help it. It's Poody's spaceship. He's jumping on my leg right now trying to get the spaceship. You can see, trust me.
He wants that spaceship.
Anything that moves or makes noise, he loves.
So anyway, before we get into this chip challenge, I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things. So if you're a little faint at heart, you don't like to talk about paranormal, a couple of things I'm going to talk about. It's going to be a little bit personal. You know, I'm just letting you know we're going to be talking about a couple of kind of creepy things that might be a little creepy. So if you live alone, whatever,
watching this at midnight,
things like that bother you, you may not want to watch this.
On the couch with the covers pulled over.
Not seriously creepy, that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I think I talked to you guys before about the house that I used to live in. We moved into that house when I was 12. Well, first, let me back up a little bit. My mom was part Cherokee Indian. My mom was very superstitious. My mom could see things before it would happen. And I know a lot of people don't believe in that stuff, but it's true. It happens. I was witness to it. Other people have been witness to it. And also, I, to a degree, have the same ability. And Chef knows. Mine comes in forms of dreams, though. One dream that I had, this was probably about a week before my mom passed away. And I didn't know because my mom died of a massive heart attack. My mom's death was sudden. But about a week before that, I had a dream that I was carrying her body. She hadn't passed away, but I was carrying her through the airport, trying to get her back home before something happened to her. A week later, my mom went into sudden cardiac arrest. Not having been in the medical field very long, of course, I did no CPR. So my mom was actually the first person that I had ever done CPR on. I was able to revive my mom, but she died later on in the hospital. So those are the kind of things that happen in my world. I had a dream in 2012 where my brother and sister-in-law had pulled up beside my house or beside our house, and they were pulling a hay wagon. It wasn't uncommon for them to pull hay wagons, but they had a bunch of black trash bags on there. And my brother came to the door he was holding a long pink gown that he had taken out of one of these trash bags. And he handed it to me and he said, here, sis, try this on. And I was like, no. I said, where did you get that from? He said, the funeral home. A week later, my niece passed away in her sleep. She was 35 years old. She had had bariatric surgery a couple of weeks prior, and she passed away. I feel like my dreams, they don't come directly out and tell me something, but in a sense, to a degree, they do. I've had several like that. Anyway, the house that we moved into when I was 12 years old, we actually moved into that house based on the same kind of thing. My mom and dad's friends had actually owned the house, and the woman of the house, her uncle had passed away and willed them a different house. So they were going to be moving. So my mom and dad had always liked their house. But because they were such close friends, my mom and dad's friends didn't really want to sell my parents the house, because if anything were to go wrong with the house or anything like that, they didn't want it ruining their friendship. Well, apparently one night, in the middle of the night, this woman's father came to her in the form of a spirit. And what I'm telling you guys is, it is honest to God true. These are things that, well, this has to be true because there's no other way it could not be true. Anyway, let me go ahead and finish. Her father came to her in the form of a spirit and told her that if she didn't sell the house to my parents, that she was a damn fool. Well, apparently the same night, he also came to my mom's bedside and told my mom that they would be selling the house to my parents. And I remember I was getting ready for school that morning and the phone rang, and it was my mom's friend calling, and I could hear them talking, and I knew, based on what my mom had said, I found out what the other woman had said, and that was just, anyway, my parents ended up buying the house, and we ended up moving in there, and I was 12 when we moved in there. That house was haunted, y'all, let me tell you. The people that lived there before also testified that that house was haunted. And I remember my bedroom was across the hall from the bathroom. And late at night, I would get creeped out just going across the hallway to the bathroom. Because for some reason, I kept thinking I was seeing a coffin in the living room. Honest to God truth. Thought I was seeing a coffin in the living room. This went on for a long time. I just got paranoid. I would sleep with my lights on and everything. Well, about 5 years later, I ended up talking to the daughter of my mom's friend, the one that sold us the house. And I was telling her about this image that I was having, because I never told my mom and dad because I didn't want to seem like I was a big baby or anything. And she told me that back in 1932, when her grandfather, who had built that home, had passed away, that they actually had his wake or funeral in the living room of our house. And that where I was telling her I thought I was seeing the coffin was where his coffin was actually at. I had a really hard time after that. It was very difficult. Anyway.
Back in the day, that's what they used to do.
Yeah, I didn't know that though.
For funeral parlors.
The man that built the house also passed away in that house when my mom's friend was 5 years old. He had been sick, and he had asked, I'm not going to say her name for privacy reasons, but he had asked her if she could go get him a cup of water. She went into the kitchen to get him some water, and when she came back, he had passed away on the hallway floor. Years later, I was looking on Craigslist, and I saw an advertisement for a company wanting to do paranormal investigations free of charge. This was a group of 7 individuals that had jobs outside of their hobby. One worked for the electric company, one worked for the gas company, one was a lawyer. There's various jobs. They did this in their part-time. They had all the equipment and stuff. So I shot them an email, and they emailed me back, and we talked a little bit about the house and stuff like that. Well, they came down and did their first investigation. During that time, you have to shut all the power off in the house. Everything has to be shut down for them to do their investigations. They did. They came, they did the investigations, and I'm going to insert some links in the description box below of the sound or the EVPs that they found at our house during that time. The company was called Rip Indy 08, I believe it was. Anyway, I'll put the links in the description box. They were so intrigued by the first one that they asked if they could come back and do it again. Now, mind you, they're driving an hour plus away to come, no charge to us, just to do it. The second time they came to do the investigation, they were so freaked out at the end that they packed up their equipment, they ran out the door, they came back in, handed me a bundle of sage, and told me to burn it. smarty pants. He's such a smart ass. These are true stories, guys. I promise you, with everything that's in me, these are true stories.
Who did it?
So anyway, I've never been harmed in that house. Nobody has ever been harmed in that house by anybody. But when they came back to do the second reveal, we had the woman come that was that had lived there all of her life, whose father built that house. And when some of the things played on their EVP, she was in her 80s. She just dropped her head and she cried. Because there was a couple of things there's one little clip of some music, and it's like angelic music. And you can barely hear it, but you can hear it. Apparently that was a song that was played during her father's funeral in our house. Just a couple of things really hit home for her, and she knew that it was true. So, like I said, I'm going to put the links to the description box. The second thing I want to talk about, and I've not really mentioned it a lot. My dad was married one time before he married my mom, and in that marriage, he had daughters and he had a son. One of his daughters had Down syndrome. Severe Down syndrome. And if any of you know anything about people with severe Down syndrome, they do not understand what it is to tell a lie. They don't have the mental capacity to understand that. One morning, I think it was like 1999. I remember it you remember it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1999. Now this is after my parents had passed away. So I was she was in my care. I got custody of her. She was in my care. She rocked me to sleep when I was a baby, and I swore to my life I was going to take care of her. One morning in 1999, I went in to check on her, and she was blue and she was foaming at the mouth. She was in respiratory arrest. She had been in the hospital a couple weeks prior with pneumonia, which is common for people with Down syndrome. And she had already outlived her life expectancy by many, many years. So I got her down on the floor between me and the chef. We performed CPR, and we were able to revive her. We had her breathing again when the ambulance came. They transported her to the hospital. In the emergency room, they lost her again, but they were also able to revive her. She ended up having to have a trach and be put on a ventilator. She was in there for about 30 days, and they tried to extubate her, which means they tried to take her off of the ventilator one time, but it wasn't successful. Within just seconds, she was turning blue, because people with Down syndrome, they already have issues. And it was hard for the brain, because this machine had been breathing for her for so long, that once they pulled it out, it's like the autonomic system wasn't picking up. She wasn't able to, the brain wasn't telling her body to breathe. So she wasn't able to breathe. So they had to put her back on the ventilator. So the doctors had talked to us. We had the greatest critical care pulmonologist. Suggested that we take her to a ventilator weaning hospital where they work to wean them off of ventilators. So we agreed. She had still been in ICU all this time, of course. Well, that evening in ICU, before they moved her, they were going to move her the next day. We were talking to her, and of course, like I said, she had the trach in, so all she could do is mouth things. But she sat up in her bed with the biggest smile on her face, and she waved at that hospital door. And when I asked her what she was waving at, she said, "My dad." Again, she didn't know to tell a lie. She didn't understand what a lie was. She died the next morning at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I believe she did in fact see our dad, and that our dad had came to get her to take her home. That is the stories call them stories if you want. The motive to celebrating National Paranormal Day is to tell ghost stories. In a sense, they may be ghost stories, but they're very real stories. So I was always skeptical Was there really more after something happened to us? And everybody has their own opinions. And I'm not going to down anybody for their opinion. You're entitled to your own. But from that point on, I was a firm believer that there was more after. So that's my story that I'm sharing with you guys. And I will insert a clip of a picture of me and her from years ago. We foo-fooed up and had our picture taken. Me and my sis. I'll insert that. I need a hot chip now, daggone it, after that. Anyway, that's my story. So happy National Paranormal Day. What do you say, Pood? You want to tell him happy National Paranormal Day? He's like, what the hell are you talking about? But my grandpa was the same way. My step-grand monster, that's what I called her. Excuse me. She thought my grandpa was paranoid. Because my grandpa would talk to people, but my grandfather could see people that had crossed over. Up until the time when they were sitting in their living room one day, and my grandfather started talking to somebody, and my step-grand monster asked him who he was talking to, and he told her. And she told him, she said his name, and she said, you're out of your mind. You're just going senile. Like 15 minutes later, they got a phone call that that person had passed away. So I was like, take that. Anyway, I didn't care for her. Not many people did. So my real grandmother passed away when I was 5. So apparently me and my real grandmother were very, very close. I worshiped the ground that she walked on, but I do not remember her. Some people say it's just one of those things how your mind can block off emotional or traumatic times so that you don't remember them. But even when I look at pictures of her and us together, I don't remember her. So I'm very sorry for that, Grandma. I don't remember her. So anyway, you got any good stories, Chef?
I think the only one I told him is the one about the farmhouse I used to live in. I told him that before.
About jumping out the window?
When I was about 14 or 15, my parents bought a house.
Cheers, guys.
Bought a house out in the country. It was a 2-story farmhouse in Oldland. They said that when the guy that built the house fell down the stairs from the upstairs and broke his neck and died.
This is a regular chip, not a hot chip.
That had been in the 30s or 40s, they said. And then in the 50s, sometime there was an open well. So we had well out there, but it had been closed off by then, and the water pumped out. A baby had crawled in there and fell in the well and drowned. Well, I used to sleep downstairs in the very back room behind the bathroom and everything. And it was middle of the night. It's just me, my mom, and my dad there. And I heard somebody in the kitchen getting a drink of water. I could clearly hear him turn on the faucet, hear the water going into glass, hear the faucet shut off, and somebody making that gug, gug, gug sound drinking. By that time I was hearing the drinking, I was already sitting up in my bed, so I got up and I walked to the kitchen, and there was nobody in the kitchen. I'm like, wow, there's no way somebody could move that fast. So I went on and walked up to my mom and dad's bedroom, which was go through the kitchen, go through the living room, and then open the door to their bedroom. They're both laying in there sound asleep. So I wasn't dreaming because I was sitting up. I could hear it. Well, there was another time I had a dream. At this point in the time, there was 2 great big rooms upstairs. You know how old farmhouses are built where they got the ceilings that are flat and they got the angles down.
Like the loft?
Yeah. Except it was 2 big rooms. Well, I decided they were bigger rooms. I moved upstairs and I took one of the rooms up there for my bedroom. I had a dream that something was chasing me. Something bad was chasing me.
It was me.
And I got up, ran down the stairs, ran through the house, went through the back, the living room, the kitchen, to the back room that was my bedroom. Used to be my bedroom, and I kicked the storm window out, and I was climbing out the storm window. Well, at that point, I woke up. I had got up out of bed. I kicked the storm window out of the upstairs window in the bedroom I was sleeping in, and I was half hanging out the window, which is about a 25-foot drop down onto an air conditioner unit concrete.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Luckily, at that point, I woke up.
His mom told me about that one, too.
Yeah, so it scared the poop out of me, so I moved back downstairs to the smaller bedroom because I didn't want to do that again, just in case I was sleepwalking and it would happen again.
Yeah, speaking of which, one night when I was oh, sorry.
No,
go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
No, go ahead.
One night when I was getting ready, as a teenager, we always take our showers, get in our cars, go out on the weekend, cruise the strip, whatever you're going to do. It was dark, and it was back when it was getting dark fairly early. It was probably about 7, maybe. And because of my dad's work schedule, which he was retired at the time, because of his work schedule, my parents always went to bed very early, and they got up very early. I mean, going to bed like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. That's a whole other story. Anyway, so I was in our bathroom, there's like a big full-length mirror on our towel closet door. And I remember being at night, and like I said, our house was already haunted. So I was creeped out anyway. Every time I'd go in to take a shower and it was dark, I'd always pull the shower curtain back and look. Just, what's that movie? Psycho. Anyway, I'd always pull the shower curtain back and look. Any of you guys can relate to me, you know what I'm talking about. Well, one time when I happened to pull the shower curtain back, everything on that full-length mirror was steamed up except for the shape of a skeleton. I kid you not. I jumped out of that shower. I ran butt naked all the way down the hallway, all the way around the thing, and into my parents' bedroom, butt naked. I was screaming, yelling, hollering. My mom is like freaking out. What's going on? Here I am, like 17 years old, and I'm just having a shit attack. I'm like freaking out. Anyway, she told me she got up, she went in and looked. There was nothing there. I'm like, no, it's already defrosted or whatever, defogged, or I said it was there. I would not go back in there and take a shower in the dark ever again after that. It was, I can't say ever again. But it was a good while before. I always made sure I took my showers earlier while it was still daylight. Because that just freaked me out.
I was going to tell them about the TV in that back bedroom and stuff.
Go ahead. Oh, the staticky?
I could have been. Yeah. Well, I could have dreamed it, or it could have been real, but it seemed real to me when I was able to get up. You guys remember those touch screen lamps and the touch TVs? You didn't have to hit a button; it just had that little silver spot, and you just touch it. But then we're out in like the 80s and 90s. I had a little TV, like a 13-inch, in the bedroom, sitting on my nightstand right next to my bed, so you just lay there sideways and watch TV. And I don't remember what I was watching. We didn't get like 4 channels out there back in the day. One of them was like PBS and Vincennes and stuff like that, and 210 and 38. Sometimes I get Channel 4, if you guys remember Channel 4 in Indianapolis.
Well, they probably wouldn't, because they probably didn't get it.
Yeah. Well,
had Sammy Terry on it, if any of you guys know about Sammy Terry.
He did the Friday night, Saturday night horror movies, and had Janie and Cowboy Bob in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyway, it was late on the night, and it was like a Friday or Saturday night. And I'm laying there watching TV, and I'm getting sleepy. And to be able to reach the screen, I would have had to roll and moved over some to get it. And I'm like, I wish the thing would just shut itself off. And no sooner did I think that, static, TV goes out.
Yeah, you told me this story a few times. Yeah.
I'm freaking out. I just thought it and it happened. Am I awake or am I asleep?
That'll always be the question.
Wow. Then about, 10 seconds goes by. TV pops back on. Was it something wrong with the TV? Was it static in the air? Or did something unseen touch that screen and then touch it again?
You're never going to know.
No.
You're never going to know.
Another time I had another bad dream laying there. I was asleep and I was laying in bed and I went to get up and I couldn't get up. I was paralyzed, frozen. And whatever force or whatever was sitting on my back, holding me down, holding my head into the pillow, and I could not raise up. And I started thrashing and moving around. Finally, I was able to get my face up out of the pillow and took a big breath because it felt like I was being suffocated. Mm-hmm. And like I said, maybe I dreamed it, maybe I didn't. That was the first time that anything like that had ever happened. And I have acid reflux, and I wear a CPAP at night, so I know what it's like now to wake up and not be able to breathe. And it's not the same thing. It wasn't like my body wouldn't let me breathe like now.
It was like somebody was physically holding you down.
Yeah, sitting on my back with their hand on the back of my head, pushing me into that pillow, and they weren't going to let me up. And
that would be an evil spirit.
Yeah. So I would say there was something in that house. Something in or around that house. And that was a very old farmhouse, too, let me tell you. I don't know what was there before. If you guys know anything about trees, there's a maple called a swirly maple. And there was like 8 of them around this house. And
we could take them past that house someday.
Yeah.
It looks different now, but a little bit.
I hope the trees are still there after all this time.
Yeah, I don't know.
But these trees were huge. I don't know how many years it takes a swirly maple to get big around, but I have very long arms.
So he can hold me.
I don't know what my arm span is, but if I was a boxer...
About a 747.
I'd be able to reach out and touch it real hard. But anyway...
Speaking of 747, not to change the subject, but I am real quick. You know what sounds good?
No.
Maurizio's Pizza, 747.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead. Your arm span, yeah.
It was at least 2.5 of me to reach around these trees. They were that big at the bottom, the trunks. And they twist as they go up. So there might have been something there before the farmer built the farmhouse to begin with. Maybe there's another house or something. I don't know the history of the place. But those trees had to be hundreds and hundreds of years old. No. They were big. Mm-hmm. Very big.
Yeah, big trees. You gonna get my nose? Hey, how about that, man? I want to get my nose. I want to get my nose. Thank you.
Talking about funny scary, though. Yeah, I got my dad one time years ago with the scarecrow kind of thing. The front porch was an open front porch. It had a roof over it. It was concrete, and it had wooden beams every so often that held it up. And at the top of the beams, there was a V going each way, made out of 2x4. So we lived way out in the middle of nowhere. No one ever came out there for Halloween or anything. I'd usually put a pumpkin out or something like that. Well, this year I decided to put a scarecrow out. So I got a pair of bibs. Used to wear bibs. And I hung them on 2 nails on those angles. So the bibs hung like this. And of course I stuffed it full and put a shirt in it, made a head with a mask on it and the whole 9 yards, put some boots on him. So he was just sort of dangling there. So I got the bright idea one night when my mom and dad owned the restaurant. I got off of work, I came home, took a shower, got dressed, the whole 9 yards, and I knew they'd be home in about another. I went outside, took the clothes off the dummy and the mask, and I put them on myself, and I hung myself up on the hooks.
No, you can't have the chip.
So I waited for my mom and dad to come home. They pulled in the driveway, and I stayed just as still as I could. And I waited till they come up on the porch. My dad went to put the key in the door. And I jumped off the hook with the knife in my hand and screamed at him. And my dad must have jumped 4 feet straight up in the air, came back down. He turned pale white. He told me if I ever did anything like that again, he was going to butcher me.
And you guys already know from a previous story, if you guys watched that video where Chef was talking about how he rigged his dad's little truck with those fire popper things. He was always doing stuff like that to his dad. You think his dad would have, bless my father-in-law's heart, he's not with us anymore. He did have a heart attack later on in life, but you think he would have had one when you were not 20 years after you traumatized him.
You got to remember who I learned it from.
Him and Ray.
When
I'm going to have to bleep that name out.
When my dad was young, they lived right across the street from a small cemetery. And that was one of the jobs they did, besides being a kind of a farmer and doing this and that. My grandfather took jobs on keeping cemeteries cut. I have one uncle and a bunch of sisters, so they had to do what they could do to make ends meet. Mm-hmm. Well, in a cemetery that was right across the street, and it's a different bench now. I remember the original bench that was there, but this bench was like concrete, and the legs looked like wooden spindles, and it was right in front of somebody's grave marker. Well, my dad said back in the day, I remember this would have been the 1940s when he was a kid, that people used to come strolling through there, because that was the real far north end of town, and sit and make out, guys and girls.
They did that at, what's that cemetery on 42 that's got Stiffy Green? People used to do that too.
But he would climb underneath that bench where they couldn't see him being a kid, wait for those people to come along and sit there and start smooching. And he'd make noises and knock on stuff. He said he made more than one person run. So that's who I learned it from.
I would shit myself. I would seriously shit myself.
That's who I learned it from. So you can't blame me for emulating what he did.
You learned from the best. So. If you guys have a chance to Google it, I think they could Google it. What is that cemetery called?
Highland
Got them
Park?
big gates. Highland Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah. Legend of Stiffy
The
Green.
Legend of Stiffy Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's where all the kids around here went to make out too. Was in Highland Lawn.
There's another cemetery that's not super far from here, over in Staunton.
100 Steps.
Yeah, the 100 Steps. This cemetery sits up on kind of top of a hill, and the steps are made out of stone, and they were put there a long, long time ago.
Very old cemetery.
So the way the thing goes, you're supposed to go out there at midnight. I can't, and
If
you count the steps as you walk up to the cemetery. Then you turn around and you count the steps as you walk down, and you'll never get the same amount of steps.
Never. And we've done it before. We tried it before. We went to a lot of places.
You always, and it's not like you're trying to just mess with people. I think what it is, if you look at it in the daylight, a lot of the steps are cracked. So here's a step, but it might be this far apart, or some of them have slid over the years. So I'm thinking you're not supposed to use flashlights or nothing, so you can see. You just walk it in the dark and count 1, 2, 3. I think what it is, the steps are so messed up in some places.
Yeah, because they're kind of jaggedy and stuff.
You'll skip one, or you'll add one, so you might do 100 going up and 101 coming down, or 98 going up and 103 coming down. You know,
Yeah.
so
I don't always believe those things, but I do believe things because of things that I've experienced.
Yeah.
And Chef knows too, because when I have dreams like that, he's the first I automatically tell him. Even when we were still working, I would call him at work and I'd say, hey, I had a dream. I have to tell you this. I've called my sister-in-law. She's the one who told me, you need to have your dreams analyzed, because she always calls me, she says I'm morbid. Like not like morbid obese, but my dreams are,
I think I'm a little more tuned in because I'm almost dying. So
yeah.
when I was a kid,
I was electrocuted once.
The church we went to, they were having a pool party at one of the girls that was in the church house, in big in-ground pool. And I can't remember how old I was. I wasn't very old yet. I hadn't learned to swim. And of course, you know how boys are. I'm down in the deep end and I'm hanging onto the diving board.
Weren't you like 6 or something?
Yeah,
I think your mom said you were like 6.
6 or 7. Well, I almost died more than once, but that's another story.
I'm talking about swimming pool time, this time.
But I made my way down to the deep end because that's where all the cool kids were. And I was holding on to the diving board, and somebody come up and took a big jump off of it, and the thing hit me right in the top of the head.
Yeah.
And I remember being on the bottom of the pool, just sort of looking up and everything going black.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I'm laying on the side of the pool, and some girl's giving me mouth to mouth and pumping my stomach, and water's gurgling
Pretty
out.
exciting for a 6-year-old, huh?
That was the first time I about died. And then I can't remember the second one now. There's 3 different times.
The clothes hanger? Or the clothesline thing?
When we lived in town, that would have been the next time. A couple kids down the street was bigger than I was. I mean, like physically, I was like 8 and they were like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was a really big kid, they were still bigger than I was. And there was an empty house across the alley, and they had the old concrete poles up with the clothesline. You know?
The T-poles.
Yeah, T-poles.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a hold of me, and they twisted these things around and held them. One of them held up, and the other one stuck me in there, and I got caught on my neck.
The clothesline, yeah.
And it was I was just tall enough that I'd do this. My feet would touch and not touch, touch and not touch and not touch. And I couldn't tell you how long I was there. Luckily, I was turned this way and not front to back. I was side to side. And my mom must have looked out the window or something, and she come running over there and had to pry him apart to get me out. I had great big marks on my neck for a long time.
His mom said he almost died. He was like blue.
Yeah, I was getting blue because it was cutting my hair off.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the beginning, but I don't remember her really coming and getting me. So.
Did you black out?
A little, maybe.
Yeah.
The third time was in the hospital, so.
What third time in the hospital when you almost died?
With the tube in my throat.
Oh, yeah, that was, yeah.
I've had kidney stones. And the first kidney stone I had didn't come out on its own. They had to physically go inside of me. And then I had problems afterwards, too, from scarring and this and that and the other. So, anyway, long story short, they told me they seen another kidney stone. The hospital here in Terre Haute I go to doesn't have their own lithotripsy machine. It's on a semi. So you got to schedule it to go when they come. They put you in a pair of shorts, you sit in this thing, and they shoot sound waves at the spot until it breaks up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what they did to me. I remember laying on the in the
gurney.
No, the room you're in when you come to
the post-surgical.
Right. And I remember waking up.
Recovery room.
And I looked around and there's all these other people laying around me. And all of a sudden I'm like, there's nothing happening.
Scary.
But I can't get my arms or anything to move. It's just like I'm doing this.
His mind was awake, but his body wasn't.
Yeah. And the last thing I remember is that tunnel vision with everything getting smaller and smaller. And a nurse diving on my chest. And I remember the pain because she had a tube in her hand, a black tube, and hitting me in the back of the... And that's the last thing I remember till I woke up. And then they popped the thing out of my mouth because I was breathing on my own by then. And she said it was really close. But that's what she was there for, to watch me, to make sure that things like that
they were intubating you because you weren't breathing on your own. So, hence the reason why we're terrified of him ever having to go under anesthesia, because he doesn't respond well.
Yeah, evidently not.
So,
but
anyway.
I think that's why I'm a little more tuned into stuff like that. When things happen, I get feelings and stuff like that. And I especially think animals do. I think animals are more sensitive
definitely.
to paranormal things than people are.
Definitely. I firmly believe that.
They bark sometimes and they don't see anything. You're like, what are you barking at? Then you think, well, maybe they heard something because they got a lot better hearing than humans, but it might be because they could see things that you can't see. I think all animals are like that. Just it's natural to them, where it's not natural to us, because we're more civilized and advanced, where they're just live on instinct. So
but anyway, that's some of our stories, guys. And like I said, I'll insert a picture of me and my I call her my sister. She's my half sister. The one with Down syndrome. I'll insert a picture of that during the video, and also I'll include those links in the description box that I've said a million times already.
Yeah. Well, you ready to eat some hot chips?
Is anybody ever ready to eat hot chips?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Since I'm not eating do I get anything from Torrid if I eat the chips?
I told you could order from Torrid.
No, that was if but...
I told you could order anyway. I'm not forcing you to do nothing. You want to do it for that? That's fine. I don't make her do things to order stuff.
It's like fun, because I'd like to do a little haul at some point for you guys. But right now, they don't have any good sales going on. So I want to wait until they have some sales. But
let me go
I know you guys can't see this, but it says Haunted Ghost Pepper. Yeah. So it's backwards, but what a more appropriate day, right?
If you can see the dial on the back. Even though it's backwards, you see that it's at the hottest setting, which says, freaking hot.
And you guys can look at this company. It's PAQUI. Yep. It's the same company that makes that, the Carolina Reaper, that one chip challenge.
Before you open those, let me go get a bowl or a plate so everybody can see how many you have. Give me just a second,
How many do I have to eat?
15.
Okay. We'll be back, guys.
Okay, guys, we're back. I went and got a plate.
I went and got some of my nursing gloves.
Because all the other videos we watch, people are using gloves and putting eye protection on. Don't want to get the stuff in your eyes. It's supposed to be made out of ghost peppers. And just to be for sure, I got my great big long tweezers that I'm going to take them out of the bag with.
So, I'm putting gloves on. This makes me paranoid.
Well, it's Paranormal Day, so paranoid's good.
And I don't have safety glasses. I mean, Chef has safety glasses from when he was working, but I don't know where they're at. Probably in the garage.
Yeah, we're going to be extra careful anyway,
So here we go. Hey, I still can't chew on this side because I don't want to... We have a dentist appointment, but I don't want to break this tooth.
I should fill this full of milk for you. Look like an udder.
People do that all the time.
Because you're going to need it.
Or you can take these... I don't know if you guys have seen them or not. We've done them when we had Halloween parties when the kids were younger. Fill them full of Kool-Aid or fill them full of water and stick them in and freeze them. And then take them out, run them under a little bit of water to kind of break the seal. And then peel this off and stick them in a bowl of punch. It looks like you got floating hands in the punch bowl.
I like taking the clear ones, the food service ones. And you get candy corns and stick in the tips. And you fill them full of popcorn in time. They look like white ghosty hands with nasty fingernails.
I'm going to have to move this back a little bit more.
Like I said, I think
they can see the plate now a little bit.
Not much.
Whew. Okay, you want to open them then?
Yeah, like I said, I'll open them.
See, I get like anxious ahead of time, and I think it causes my stomach to like clench up. Too.
Pocky, we're bringing you the heat, and it's so good. It hurts so good to you, Dare. Warning, freaking hot. An insane amount of ghost pepper.
Okay, already.
Real ingredients. Even more ghost pepper. Even more. Bring the heat is real.
See, torture. It's like
Pig's feet, sardines,
Well, you know what? Pig's feet and sardines may not sound too bad after all that.
chicken and livers.
I remember eating a chicken liver when I was young. I was with my sister-in-law.
Don't stick your face in it, but they don't smell hot at all. Being really honest, they do not smell hot at all.
Well, we're going to find out. I'm sure they wouldn't say that just for shits and giggles.
They're way down in the bag. The bag's not real full, so we're going to just kind of like pour them out there and snap to see what we got here.
How many do I have to have? 15? See, he won't even let me. He's going to make sure he gives me the biggest chips there is.
3, we'll count that one as a part. 3. There's 4, 5. There's 6 and a partial. 7.
I have a chef for sale if anybody's interested. Yeah, give me the high bidder here. Give me high bidder. Take $1. Anybody want to start the bid at $1? $1 on $1.
Let's say that's 10.
How do those people do that? How do they auction stuff off like that?
I say that's like 12 right there.
I know I talk a lot, but dang.
We'll make it 13. Make it
Unlucky 13.
Yeah. Would you rather I make it 15?
No. I think 13 is enough. Can I have a drink first?
Yeah.
It's not milk or anything. It's actually probably going to make it worse, but...
It says haunted ghost pepper. Real peppers, real heat. Well, like I said, if she eats all them, I will take 1 chip, which is a lot for me because I can't eat hot stuff.
Well, don't hold your breath.
And I will put a little dab of this. This is extra hot habanero, chili habanero. Yo, Yucatanico.
Here's the chip, guys. I don't know if you can see the
And try to keep it off your lips.
spots of pepper on it or not.
Open your mouth real wide and not.
Will you shut up already?
No.
Oh my God.
You were telling me how to eat the food. Don't
Ah.
remember? Go back and watch the video.
Okay. Tell him, Pood. All right, guys. Are we ready? Can I do this one? Think I can successfully do this one? Oh, please. Okay, guys, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I have a cold cup of milk in the freezer for her right now. And sitting next to her, I set the rest of the milk we had because we only had a little bit. Actually, there's not a lot of milk, so if it's really hot, you're in trouble. We don't have that much milk for capsaicin.
I don't want to chew so fast. I want to take a drink.
No, can't do that.
It's dry.
Part of the challenge, sorry. Like I said, the real challenge is you're supposed to eat the whole bag without taking a drink. But that being said, everybody said if you make it fast about the first 12 or so, you can usually do a whole bag. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah, some little pieces that help. Just think about if you eat them all, though. I gotta eat the one with habanero hot sauce on it. Ghost habanero.
No, don't.
Yeah, I'm going to. That's what I said. That's the deal I made, so I'm not gonna shirk on my deal.
4. My mouth is salivating.
Yeah, that's good though.
Not really.
Well, you said they're dry.
Woo! Don't try this at home.
Paranormal Day is a good day to eat haunted ghost pepper chips.
5.
Hot, hot, hot. Do. Hot. Do.
Oh. Have you guys had these before? Holy mother.
First time I've seen them at the store. We've got these at Myers. We were shopping.
Come on, Juice. Chicken shit penguin. You got to redeem yourself.
Some smaller ones. She's getting there.
Oh, shit.
She got about 6 left. She's about 6 left. She's about halfway there.
Good thing I don't have false teeth. They melt. Holy shit. Like my eyes are getting all watery. It's like I can't see.
You know why the penguin fell through the ice?
No.
He ate haunted ghost pepper chips. He melted through.
Because he farted, melted the ice?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm going, guys. I'm trying. Is this 7?
Yeah.
I don't know, babe.
Yeah. You got 6 left on the plate.
I don't know.
You ain't got that many left. You're over halfway there. Like I said, there's some little ones there. If you put them together, they get gone fast. Try the little ones. If you eat the little ones first, then all you got the big ones left. See?
Now I'm trying to do the big ones until I got the little ones left.
The little ones go down faster when you already got a mouthful. How do they compare to those noodles?
Just about as hot, but in a different way. Different texture.
At least I didn't undercook these.
Yeah.
See, she admitted it, finally. I undercooked them.
Because I told you how long to cook them.
When do I ever listen to you?
Not very often.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was supposed to numb your mouth.
I never heard that.
That's a bunch of shit.
The guy on the video I watched said that it gets hotter with every bite.
Shut up.
He said he ate a whole gallon of ice cream for the next day and it still didn't.
Shut up. I'm going to knock you out in a minute.
True story. I think I told you this one about my dad.
Remember, you had to fall asleep sometime.
No, I don't. My dad was in the Air Force.
You didn't want me to cut your hair.
He was stationed at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. And he said that
I feel like I have heat coming out my eyeballs, guys.
one of his favorite stories about being down there was an authentic pushcart guy down there who was Hispanic. And he had the best authentic Mexican food you ever had. Delicious. But a lot of it was really spicy and hot. So he said on a Friday or Saturday that guy would be on the base or just outside the base with that. He said he'd go take a couple bucks and just load up some of the best Mexican food he's ever ate. And when he get done, he'd go to the PX and buy a quart of ice cream and sit and eat the whole quart of ice cream to cool down with. He said the next morning he'd be sitting in the latrine going, "Come on, ice cream," because it would be burning the other end of him. She's down to about there's a little nibble and then 3 medium nibbles. Besides
Speaking of which, I'm going to have something I can tell you right and straight up.
It's in the freezer. Don't leave it till she's done, so it's icy cold. Like I said, we don't have very much milk left. She's got the little half gallon we got over, and it's only got like a swallow left in it. So I give you some heavy whipping cream. Half and half. Cottage cheese.
Something as long as it's ice cold.
I don't think the cottage cheese is ice cold.
Oh God. Come on, penguin, you freaking wimp.
Okay, she's got it down to 2 medium-sized chips now, people. So she's already had like about 11 and a half.
Oh my God. I seriously feel like my eyes are like volcanoes. Woo!
More eat, less talk.
They're dry.
More eat, less talk. She's sure to make me eat that nasty food.
You're a glutton for punishment.
Told you I'd eat one.
I would not recommend it. My lips are fucking numb. Pardon my French, people.
Now you got to edit that out. Can't leave that on there.
My lips are like numb, like burning numb. Oh God.
That's the last one on the plate. She eats that, she'll be up to like 12 and a partial.
Okay, guys.
I'm preparing to get the milk after she gets that in her mouth.
I want ice cream.
We don't have any ice cream. We're out.
Oh
man, the milk. I'm not going to be able to drink it.
See my lips. Oh.
The milk's solid. You're not going to be able to drink it. It got hard. Just that fast, it got hard.
Give me ice cream, please.
Drink the milk.
I want ice cream.
No.
Ice cream! Please, I'm not even kidding.
You like vanilla, chocolate,
just give me vanilla. Please don't do that. I'm being serious. Not chocolate.
You said whatever ice cream.
You guys, anybody want Chef? I'll send you to his house for free.
This hasn't been opened yet.
I don't care.
Well, how are you going to open it when it hasn't been opened yet?
You're going to open it for me?
No, I'm not. You still haven't ate the last chip.
I got it in my hand right here. Okay, guys. Plate on there.
Yeah, she did it.
I accidentally, without thinking, took a drink while I still had the last chip in my mouth.
Oh, she blew the challenge. Sorry,
I didn't blow
guys.
the challenge.
Yes, you did. You're supposed to do the whole thing without taking any. Drink. Blew the
I ain't
challenge.
kidding. See my eyes.
Blew the challenge. You blew the challenge.
I did not.
You got to do it all over. Tell her. She needs to do
Bullshit.
the whole challenge over. Here, I'll count you out 13 more chips. How's that? I'll count you out 13 more chips.
You know what, guys? Unless you're a glutton for punishment, don't do it. The first one, even the second one wasn't terrible. But like Chef said, the more you chew, the more you eat, the hotter it gets.
That's what the guy said. I wasn't making it up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can see, there's my chip, guys.
There
is the extra hot sauce. Salsa, picante.
And what happens if your throat closes off?
The chili habanero. Well, you better find a pen so you can cut me a trick hole.
You think you're being funny. No, it's not funny at all. I'm telling you.
I'm just going to eat one chip.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see the brown dot there, but I put a nice little splash of the
Triple X habanero
with one of these chips. So
I need to give you my big girl panties
I know
because
you really can't see me because she's got the camera turned, but there you go. One chip.
remember when he wanted to give me chocolate ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Now take my ice cream, Chef.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, my fat ass.
She's faking it. They're not hot at all. Not even this Mayan sauce is hot.
Really?
Really? Not hot at all.
Really? Swear on our love?
No. Friggin' hot. Just drink your milk. But one is way different than eating a whole bunch full. Like I said, I just put it in my mouth, basically chomped it a couple times and swallowed. So.
Okay, you can give me 12 and a half because I took a drink when I had the last little bit in my mouth. 12 and a half.
Close enough.
Could I sit and eat the whole bag? No. I could not sit and eat the whole bag, but I feel like what I did eat was...
According to the other ones I watched...
Equivalent to maybe...
According to the other videos I watched and to people I talked to, once you get past that certain point, like 12, 13, 14, 15 chips, your mouth don't get no hotter. It just stays there. So if you can handle that much heat, then you can eat the rest of the bag.
That's not true. Because it was getting hotter.
That's what they said.
You
can't ask me because I'm not an expert at eating hot stuff. So they were. I'm believing what they say.
Bite ice cream?
No, it's all right.
My tongue is still hot, but I'm good.
I might have some chocolate since I got here. If you see, at least we're not.
Uh-oh.
Well.
My poon. And take these off. The nurses weigh to remove gloves. No contamination. And that's the nurse lesson for today, y'all.
But
did you stick it back in the ice cream after it been on the floor?
I washed it. That's what I was doing. I was rinsing it off in the sink.
Would you like to kiss me, hot lips?
But like I said, I just ate one, and my tongue is burning a little bit. I got just a little burn around my edge of my lips. They're not terrible. But I only ate one.
My tongue feels like somebody stuck a hot poker on it. My mouth is like watering, like from the heat.
And even though we're not really on a diet at the moment, we've been eating. What we're eating there, carb smart.
Yeah, it's low carb ice cream.
If you let it set out for just a few minutes before you eat it, it gets really soft, like kind of like soft serve, and it tastes just like you're eating real ice cream. You can't really tell the difference, can you?
Maybe I should go give one of those chips to my mother-in-law.
Give it to my mom. She'd never eat it.
She likes some spicy stuff.
Yeah, but not that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't give her one of those at all. So anyway, guys, I hope I redeemed myself a little bit by eating some of those chips were big. I say I ate 13 because he put a lot of pieces on there.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I think he did. Do you guys believe he did? Because you know how he tries to punish me, right? I think he did.
Did he have them taste like chicken feet?
No.
How about Pickle's pig feet?
You're never going to let me live that down.
I guess we're not even in
a bite of ice cream, guys. One bite. I share with you a bite.
Years ago, when I first had this ice cream, they had chocolate, vanilla, and Neapolitan with strawberry in it. Man, that was the best one. And then they quit selling it. I don't know why.
They still sell the no sugar added Breyers Neapolitan, but it has more carbs in it.
It doesn't taste as sweet.
Than this one, and yeah, it doesn't taste as sweet. It tastes more like iced milk. You guys remember iced milk back when they used to sell iced milk?
But now they have peanut butter carb smart too, but it's got a few more carbs in it.
It's all right.
I don't really like. I'm not a peanut butter kind of ice cream person, so. I
love peanut butter, but I don't care for that one too much. My tongue is still like on fire.
Drink some more milk.
All right, here. Okay, guys. I'm going to go try to rinse my mouth. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. We're back for just a few minutes so we can wrap this up. I'm still trying to nurse on some milk. I went and got my...
Wrap it up like a mummy.
Oh, aren't you so wise? I went and got some of my Fruity Pebbles coffee creamer and putting it in the milk. Because I have a hard time drinking milk unless I'm having something sweet with it. Occasionally I can, but... If you guys haven't tried that Fruity Pebbles coffee creamer by International Delights, it's really good. Not good in coffee, but good for just like milkshakes and cereal.
It's got Fred Flintstone on the front of it. Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba doo.
Reminds me of the girl at the Subway the other day.
Oh.
There's another little town between here and Terre Haute. And the only restaurant that they have is a Subway. It sits right next to a gas station. And we decided Subway sounded good. So we pulled up and ordered in the drive-thru, and I got a 6-inch Subway. Was it Subway Club?
I thought you got the steak and...
No, I didn't get the steak. Melt. I got the
You got the melt.
Yeah, I got the
Subway
Subway
melt.
on the Italian bread with cheese and peppers and onions and lettuce and stuff. And I got a Diet Coke with it, and I already put a small water and a bag of chips. Well, she didn't want to drink because she already took something with her. So you got a cold cut combo?
Yeah, I got a cold cut combo, 6-inch on Italian urban cheese with lots of banana peppers, lots of onions, mustard, mayonnaise, and sweet onion
Remember
sauce.
the mustard mayonnaise? I ordered that on mine too. So anyway, the guy waited on us, and he handed out a drink and Pooh's drink, and he gave us chips, and he said the sandwiches will be ready in a minute.
I better not take drink. I'm gonna spit it out.
So we sit there, wait, and this girl comes over to us, and I don't know if she couldn't speak English well or if she
was in a hurry or something. I don't know.
But she has the bag. You know how they put the sandwiches in the bag with some napkins. And she opens the window up, and I stick my hand out. She goes, "Did it do?"
Chef no, that's not what she said. Chef looked over at me and he's like, "What'd she say?" I said, she was trying to say, "Have a good day."
Oh, that was
she
it.
She said, "Have a good day."
Have a good day. Have a good day.
Chef's like, what'd she say? She said, "Have a good day."
That went yabba dabba doo.
Chef said, "Yabba dabba doo." So
that was it though. Yeah, it was have a good day.
Yeah, she was just in a hurry, but that's just how it kind of... That's how it came out, because she was like... Tossed it through the window and was like turning around, like going back there, and she's like, "Have a good day." That's how it sounded. But...
That was funny.
She's a sweet girl, but it's like, yeah, "Have a good day."
No. The sandwiches were good. The chips were good. Nothing wrong with them. But we both got down to that last little bit. There was only 6-inch sandwiches. And she'd already took a bite and was complaining and said, "Man, they must have put all the mayonnaise and mustard on one end."
Because when I took a bite, I had like a mayonnaise mustard turd coming out the end of my sandwich.
So I'm eating mine, and I got mine down to the last bite. And I tasted the mustard and mayonnaise, but I hadn't had that problem yet. And I grabbed the sandwich, and I went to take the bite, and this log about that long and that big around of mustard and mayonnaise.
You had a turd too.
We're talking like 4 cigarettes rolled together, that thick or 6, straight out, right on my shirt. I'm like, son of a, God dang it.
Yeah, and he had the mustard mayonnaise turd too.
I got the both of us.
It was funny when it happened to me, but when it happened to him, it wasn't as funny.
It didn't get on her shirt, it got on my shirt.
I keep offering to put a bib on him.
Yeah, I need one. We're at Red Lobster once, and she said, "I need a bib."
It's hard to eat and drive.
And she come back, you know what she did to me? She took a toilet thing that you put on the toilet seat lid and tied it around my neck. Right in front of everybody.
It was a clean one.
Oh, it wasn't a dirty one. Have a good day. Have a good day.
Here's your toilet seat cover. Have a good day.
I'm sitting there and all these people are staring at me, and she's got a toilet seat ring hanging around my neck.
But you didn't take it off. Because you knew.
Crab legs and shrimp, or crab legs and lobster, I like dipping in butter. And, you dip something in butter, it drips.
Everybody has all those Red Lobster bibs tucked in them, wrapped around their neck, over their head like a raincoat.
But this wasn't a bib, it was a toilet seat ring.
Hey.
Have a good day.
Hey, at least it fit over your head.
Barely.
If only we had pictures of things like that when we did things like that. You never, back when we had a Chi-Chi's here, I remember me and 2 of my other friends, we went to Chi-Chi's and you had to like give them your name. If they were busy, you had to give them your name. So we took like a partial bit of each one of our last names and put it together. And then we created our own name. So when it was time for our table to be ready, they said, "Smelly party for 3, smelly party for 3."
I haven't told them guys about my shop teacher in junior high school yet.
Oh no, it was stinky party for 3. Sorry about that. It was stinky party for 3.
I didn't tell them about him, did I? I haven't told them about them.
Who?
Real quick before we gotta go. One of my shop teachers in junior high school, big guy, always wore the Burt haircut, wore the long trench coat, that kind of 1950s looking kind of guy. Really nice guy, though.
Trench coat?
Yeah, he always wore the black long coat like the guys used to wear business coats, you know what I mean?
When they were going to flash people in the park?
No. You just have to. He liked to dress for the 1950s, even though it was already the 80s by then. Anyway, his name was Mr. Sweeney. God rest his soul. And the man got his hand broke.
Happy day!
And he had to wear a cast with one finger up. And I'm going to let you guess what finger it was. Now, I'm going to just flip it for you, but you know what finger I'm talking about. They don't go off that way. You just got to let it run.
Put it on my armpit. The fat'll drown the sound.
But anyway, him and his wife went on vacation while this was broke. He couldn't teach. And they'd saved up for a long time, and they went to Hawaii. I'll tell you how long ago this has been now. Anyway, they saved up for a long time to go to Hawaii. This was before he was my teacher, mind you. But he had pictures. While he was over there, Charlie's Angels was filming. And they seen him in the airport. He's seen them, and he's waving and stuff like that. He's like this. And they think they're getting flipped off. They come over and see him. They sign his cast once they talk to him and stuff like that. Don't you know at your best moment when everything's the greatest, something's going to go wrong? Here's Farrah Fawcett and Jacqueline Smith and what was the other one's name?
Kate Jackson. I think that's her name.
And their entourage all around him. They just signed the cast. His wife's taking pictures. Other people are taking pictures. He's standing there with Charlie's Angels. They page him over the airport PA system.
Uh-huh.
Remember now, his last name is Sweeney. Paging Mr. Weenie! Mr. Weenie, please come to the white courtesy phone! Everybody's looking around. There's all these hundreds of people. Who the heck is Mr. Weenie? Who's Mr. Weenie? He said he'd never live it down. His face turned beet red. And he had pictures to prove all of it, too. It wasn't like he just came up with a story. He had actual pictures of all these things. So
whenever we watch Charlie's Angels, we've tried to... Whenever they've been in Hawaii or something like that, we've tried to see if we could see him.
Yeah, because he's told us he was in one of the airport scenes, just for a split second in the background. I've not caught it yet, but things have been edited so many times now since the show.
And the airport scenes are always so busy anyway.
Yeah.
It'd be like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, it would be. But everything else was true, so I just got to believe that's true. But like I said, what he thought might be in the show might have been cut out before they made it to TV.
Editing, yeah.
And then things have been edited and edited down so commercials could get longer and longer. Have a good day!
Have a good day! All right, guys. This is probably an hour and a half long or something.
That was it for Paranormal Day and the Ghost Pepper Challenge.
Happy National Paranormal Day.
And Haunted Ghost Pepper Challenge Day.
Yeah, Haunted Ghost Pepper Challenge. And I have a feeling that is, I think I know why they call it haunted. Because it's going to be haunting me later on.
Come on, ice cream! Come on, ice cream!
Push him out, shove him out, way out! Push him out, shove him out, way out!
Come on, ice cream!
Yabba dabba do!
Have a good day!
We haven't been drinking seriously. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.